Hey y'all, this is Lyne't with the Lyne't Gray Show. How y'all doing this evening? I'm coming to you live from KUAW, Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, Kansas City's global community radio station. You are listening to us if you're watching on Facebook right now. You're watching on Facebook at KUAW-LPFM 985. You can listen to us on the TuneIn app and just type in KUAW. Also on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at KUAW. Our email is KUAW985@gmail.com. Our telephone number is 816-599-6893. And our website is KUAW.org. I'm looking at the people on Facebook right now because I've come on Facebook Live just to let you all know that we are going. I want you to switch over because I'm switching over as well to the KUAW page, KUAW-LPFM 985. All righty, let me go on over to the page while I'm on tonight's subject. You all had to get out and go do a little bit of exercise and walk and get it all out of me. I first want to say happy Father's Month. Happy Father's Month to all you amazing dads out there. Ladies, if I don't know if this is vulgar for the radio, but if you do not produce sperm, this is not the month or the holiday for you. I'm sorry. I just have to say that. I am a single mother and I refuse to take Father's Day away from dads. There are some amazing men who are dads. And I just talked to a couple of coaches and I will say it all over again. And Mr. Gathers just said it. Our coaches and our teachers are parents to our children in addition to us being parents. So I just want everyone to acknowledge the dads, acknowledge the coaches, acknowledge the teachers that spend their amazing time with our children, even though they have families. I hope that everyone appreciates a dad. I absolutely want everyone to appreciate a dad because I'm a daddy's girl, y'all. And my dad passed away April 17th, 1998. And I cannot live a day without thinking of my dad, an hour without thinking of my dad. And so I just want to make sure that this entire month, we recognize amazing dads. Now, I will say this, and I can get a whole bunch of backlash from a whole bunch of people. I do not want to hear excuses from men about, oh, well, I couldn't see my kid. Unless she took your kid out this country, I've never met a man who wanted his child and actively pursued his child lose complete custody unless that man was a complete danger. So for Father's Day, if you feel like the mom or the other side of the family is keeping your child away from you, you need to know that every single dad, statistics show, every single dad that petitioned the courts on behalf of his child, who wanted his child, 100% of the dads who petitioned got what they asked for. That tells me something. Once again, I'm going to say this again, and this has been proven, and you all can look up that statistic. 100% of the dads who petitioned the courts for their child got exactly what they asked for. That being said, the courts are here. They're hearing the dads. If you want your child, file for your child. There's a case right now that's in uproar. Everyone in the country is in an uproar about it. A man who's known to be violently abusive filed a case against his child's mother, and the courts awarded him the child. So she was the only person who took care of the child. He now has sole custody of the child and is keeping the child away from the mother against the court's wishes. The courts awarded him the child, but they said the mother still has to have custody. He is now keeping the child completely away from the mother, and there's really nothing the courts can do about it but hold him in contempt and fine him. I mean, what else can they do? They're the ones who awarded the child to him. So as dads, for Dad's Month, for Father's Month, If you have an issue where you're not able to see your child, please don't make yourself look bad and go around tell people, oh, you should keep my kid from me. That's gonna make you look real bad. Because that right there, I tell people that is an excuse that men have used for years, but you can't use it anymore because now there are resources. There are several resources online. There's an amazing lawyer named Stacy Shaw. Stacy Shaw knows the law. Everybody in Kansas City knows Stacy. And if you're outside of the Kansas City area, but you're in our global community radio station, find out who the attorney is in your area that helps with fathers' rights and helps fathers get their children. Stacy has done an amazing job along with my big sister, Corinne Corley, but she's not practicing in the Kansas City area anymore. So I don't know who all on that side. I don't. Maybe Corinne can chime in the messages and tell me who else she can advise for custody for fathers' rights. The telephone number is 816-599-6893. And today, since I'm honoring fathers, I'm going to bring up something. I have had 4 young men that have relation to me in some kind of way. 4 in the last month and a week. 2 were shot. 1 was killed last week, and 1 did the killing. All fatherless. All their dads are not involved in their lives. What is the common ground? They had dads who were not involved. People can complain about the mothers if you want to, but I can guarantee you this one thing. The young man who actually killed the guy, if everybody saw it online or in the newspaper, the young guy, the young 18-year-old boy who shot the guy who he was selling the gun to. There's more to this story than everybody knows. They were like God brothers. They were like brothers. Their moms were really close friends. 816-599-6893. They took care of each other's children when each other were sick. The mom of the son who did the shooting, amazing mom. People are judging her and they don't know her. My cousin, my family member, is the auntie to his god brother that he shot. I have 2 cousins, and I'm not going to mention their names, but they were shot in the month of, I want to say May, maybe April. They were shot within 2 weeks of each other. The one thing that is 100% across the board, all 4 of these young men who were in this situation did not have their fathers in their lives. Their fathers made every excuse. And I know I said I wasn't going to devote time to deadbeat dads, but I'm not. I'm devoting time to their sons, to their daughters, to their children. If anybody can hear the sound of my voice, and everyone keeps saying, and I'm not trying to bash nobody. Everyone keeps saying, oh, that's nothing but the devil, and that's Satan, and that's this. Well, that means the absentee fathers are the devil and they are Satan. Because when you're one person, you're a mom, or if you're a mom who abandoned your child and your child is out there acting a fool, whatever the case may be, it's on fathers right now. Because y'all know I don't have a soft spot for mothers who don't do their job either. But all 4 of these young men have great mothers, have mothers who've gone above and beyond to take care of their children. All 4 of these young men have amazing women who work, who don't spend all their days in the club or laid up under some guy. These women put their children first. And they still had their children susceptible to the violence of Kansas City. This is not just, has nothing to do with just a Christ problem, because I know for a fact 2 of the young men were in church a lot. One of the young men was one that the actual, like, the church rallied around him, but he was still going to do what he wanted to do. And I will say this, y'all try to blame it on the black fathers. One of the boys' dads was white, and he still don't want to be bothered with his kid. Got a black mom, but the boy's dad is not black. So this is not a race issue. I had a man tell me, well, it's a confidence issue. Well, at a certain point in time in life, men, it stops being a confidence issue. It stops being I have excuses for the reason why I'm not there for my child. It starts being okay, yeah, I'm no good. I need to fix this. In any way you can. I tell people, my dad to me and my brother was so invaluable, but that doesn't mean that I grew up unscathed. My brother grew up with an amazing dad, but I have a man who made me. A lot of people know him. I'm not going to say his name and bust him out. A lot of people in the city know him. I was actually being trained on this new job that I thought I was going to get, but it's inconsistent. And I told him who my dad was, and he was like, oh my God. You know, he was like, wow. It took him back to know who my dad was. And he looked at me, he was like, wow, you do look like him. And I was like, yeah, but my big sister looked more like him. But he couldn't believe it. And he and I began to talk, and I said, I don't hate him. I just don't know him. It's like meeting somebody when you're grown, or knowing somebody when you're grown and at work. And next thing you know, you find out that person is your dad because your mom sees that you know, and you're like, oh, okay. I mean, I had an amazing dad. I can't erase the experience I had. Maybe if I had a horrible dad, I would go running back to him. But I had an amazing dad, and it still does not take away from the fact that I still love him. I don't hate him. I just don't know him. That's what, if you've been absent from your children's life, that's where you have to start. I hear a lot of men say, oh, all they want is my money. Well, no. Let's clear this up. Their mothers, they have seen their mothers come out of pocket so much that when you start coming back around, they start wanting to take the pressure off of her. And I will say this, so many men complain about child support, but unless you're paying $600 a month, the equivalent from the 90s, somebody do the equivalent for me, of $600 a month now, from the 90s back then. Well, yeah, late 80s, early 90s. My dad was paying $600 a month, and they took him off of child support. And he went down there and he gave them a piece of their mind. And he told them he doesn't trust the way my mama spend money. Him and my mama can't get along. They didn't like each other. And he wasn't going to put no money in her hand. And nobody was going to tell him that he could not take care of his son because my brother dropped out of school. So what did they do? They turned around and put the child support order right back through. They opened it back up. My dad died with at least 6 months worth of child support paid up. When he died, my dad was in the ground, y'all. I don't know how I can say this. My dad was in the ground, and my mother was still getting child support checks. My dad was a truck driver, but every time he came back in the city, he had his child. I'm not saying you got to be with your child all the time, but every time you have the time, there needs to be quality time. Your child, it needs to be a gaping hole should you pass away. There should be a hole that none of your kids could ever replace. It shouldn't be this, oh, well, you gone. I mean, it's cool. I don't hurt because I don't know him. We have to do something. Dads, you can talk about the moms all you want to. We all know that Kansas City is hemorrhaging children. I say this all the time, and I'm going to say this on the radio because I have no problem. I fear nobody. And if they want to get mad and say it to my face, I'll say it to your face. We have men all over this country and all in this city, but definitely I'm going to say it's not a Kansas City problem. It's a nationwide problem. All of our OGs who are not in jail, all of our OGs who never went to jail, all of our OGs who got out of jail and who are not dead. You all escaped the lifestyle and the cities that you tore down. You tore down with your crack. You tore down with your gangbanging. And then you got the nerve to make it to OG status and not come back in and try to fix this thing up. You got the nerve to say, oh, well, these kids nowadays don't want to listen. When you didn't want to listen, I tell people this all the time. I fear nothing and I fear no one because I know what I used to be and I know how I used to live. These young men out here, you know how to come to them. Now, yes, anybody who, I'm going to say this. I went to Chicago and my job sent me to Chicago and they were warning me, oh, Lyne't, you be very careful. We don't want this, that, and the other. And the head boss went to Chicago and got robbed and this, that, and the other. And my boss got quiet because I told him, I was like, look, I'm from the hood. Chicago is the hood. I'm not going to be afraid of anybody up in Chicago because there was no need to fear me. The funk comes with people who you know. I wasn't worried about that. I was all up in Chicago with that brand new car, all up in neighborhoods they told me not to go in because I wanted to see everything. I wanted to be up there and I didn't know where I was going. They were like, oh, you're going to one of the worst neighborhoods in Memphis and you be careful and this, that, and the other. And I actually had to deliver to Memphis's worst, I guess, quote unquote, projects. And everybody was warning me and fearing. And I wasn't scared. I walked up in there, walked right back out. What? But everybody, a lot of our OGs want to be like, oh, well, these kids don't want to listen. You can't tell them nothing. What are you afraid of? You know how you was. Go on. There was a little boy, and I tell this story, and I'm gonna tell his mom, and I already told him, you better not hop in the car with nobody else. I was leaving my house one morning, running late, and it was on a Wednesday, right before school was let out for the summer. And this little boy walking down the street, pants sagging, just looking angry mess, and everybody else act like they scared of him, including black men. He mugged me. He done mugged every car walking by. And he done mugged me. And I looked at him. I said, who you looking at? He got ready to say me. I said, how old are you? Because I looked him in his face. He like a little kid. He said 14. I said, what school do you go to? He said, I go to Central Middle. No, he said, I go to Central. And I said, you go to Central. So I said, you get your butt in this car. You supposed to be in school. Now, I done made this boy come get in my car. Everybody like, that's dangerous. You can't do it. I don't care. Because I'm just as rough as he is. And he got in the car and I'm like, what's your name? You know, I'm giving him the mama talk now. And I said, so you know Miss such and such? Because my daughter was the college advisor up at Central. He said, no. I said, I thought you said you went to Central. What grade are you in? He said, I'm in the 8th grade. He said, I'll be 9th grade next year. I go to Central. I was like, oh, so what are your grades? And I'm talking to him. And as I'm talking to him, I said, you know where I'm taking you, right? He said, yes, ma'am. I said, where am I taking you? Because we were driving up Lynnwood. He said, you taking me to school? I said, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to watch you walk in. I said, I know your secretary. So I'm going to call in there and find out if you went in and enrolled. I said, what's your name? And he gave me his name. I sat there and I talked to him and I spoke life into him. And I told him, you are not allowed to fail. I gave him my business card and I told him, I said, I don't have any money to help you with anything, but if you need anything, just call me and I'll see who I can put you in contact with. But now that I know you, you are not allowed to fail. And as I was going, I was giving him the business. I wasn't saying, oh, no, you're not allowed to fail. I was going off because I refuse to see one of our babies in the grave that I gave a ride to. I refuse to see his face on the news. I refuse to see his face or his picture on Facebook where he's been shot. I refuse. Everybody will tell you, when I meet a young person in the community, your child is my child. I refuse to leave a child's life untouched. And when I say child, don't get me wrong, y'all. To me, a baby is all the way up to like 25, 30 years old. So I don't disrespect them. I tell them all the time, I'm like, I'm not trying to disrespect you and call you a baby, but you're a baby in my eyes or whatever. So I put in the work with people's children. And I noticed, I asked him, I said, where's your mama and your daddy? He said, I live with my mama and I haven't seen my daddy since a long time. I forgot what amount of time he told me. Father's month, dads, you're important. Men, if you are in a woman's life and she has children, God appointed you over her children. You are not just there for her. So if a child is wayward and you are the dad, you have the opportunity, you have the responsibility of helping the mom. 816-599-6893. And I was just telling one of the a mom today. She's a really good friend of mine, and she's a great mom. And the young lady, the mom whose son killed his god brother, she's taken it so hard because her oldest son was murdered last year, and they don't know who did it. And then she's like, "You don't understand. This is his brother. This is my godson. This is my baby." She said it's just like having another child murdered all over again, but your child did it too. And she's taking it hard, and she was questioning herself as a mother. And I will say this. She talked to her godson's mother and her godson's aunt. And I'm going to put this out on Facebook because I talked to her last night. And not only is she afraid for her life and the life of her children, the godson's mother and his aunt, her friends, told her they don't hold any ill will against her. They love her. They forgive her. They know she didn't have anything to do with this. But there are other people who are threatening her and her remaining children. Why are they threatening? Why are y'all threatening her when she's the one who turned her son in? She found out what he did, and she was so sick because, like she said, the other boy is her son too. And she lost 2 sons and then 1 son to jail within less than a year's time. Think about that. 2 of her sons were murdered. One of her sons murdered one of the sons because the godson is her son. So now she's lost 2 sons and one of her sons to jail for the rest of his life. 3 sons in the matter of less than 365 days. I told her, I said, you cannot carry this. This will kill you. It will literally break your heart. Y'all, when I talk to her, and I'm just asking everybody to lift her up. You can read the article. It's all over Facebook. Lift up not just her, but her godson's mom, her good friend. Lift up their family, because this is devastating, because that family just suffered a loss from a murder last year. And just like her best friend, her godson's mom, that was her son. That boy was like her son who got murdered, and they still haven't found his killer. So that's what I'm saying is we have to do something about this. And at this point on Father's Month, this is on the dads. This is on the dads who are absent. This is on the dads who choose to take care of other women and their families and their kids, or, because every single young boy who you see who's in jail, if his dad is not already in jail, or if his dad hasn't bailed, or every single young boy who you meet who's dead, or not meet, but read about who's dead, if his dad's not in jail, he's in a relationship with somebody. And that somebody don't find it important enough to make his kids a priority because she got the man. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to keep saying this. It takes a village. It takes an absolute village. We have to, Avonda, you're right. It takes a village. I just literally stopped sharing stuff and got on here and saw that you said exactly what I was saying. It's fathers. Shout out to all teachers, all coaches, all tutors who are dads, who take other people's children under their wing, and they make sure that those children are okay. Their children, and I say this all the time, 816-599-6893. And I want y'all to blow my phone line up. And the reason why I want y'all to blow my phone line up, because I want y'all to shout out the amazing dads who are dads to children other than their own, because they are stepdads, which I do not like the step part. They are coaches. They are teachers. They are tutors. I want to shout out Mr. L. George Walker, who's sitting in front of me, my engineer. He's also over Black Family Technology Awareness and W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. He spends a lot of his time with other people's children. Mr. Tyrone Gathers of the Inkwell. He spends a lot of time with other people's children. He is a teacher. He is literally their daddy from 7 o'clock a.m. to 3 o'clock p.m. And a bunch of y'all don't realize that I've been standing there before and my kids were talking to a teacher. 816-599-6893. My kids were talking to a teacher and they go, Mama, but they're looking at the teacher. They're not looking at me when they say mama. They're looking at the teacher. And I'm like, oh, but they spend so much time with the teacher. And the teacher said, and one teacher said, honey, I get that all the time. She said, especially first thing in the morning. Mama. She said, then they'd be like, I mean, Miss such and such, because they are used to being around that teacher so much. I want to shout out every single teacher. Mr. Purvis Powell. That man is an amazing teacher, and I'm mad we lost him here in Kansas City. Coach Heffley, Coach Brian Heffley, University Academy, Griffin's coach. Amazing dad, and he has several children, but he still takes his time to be there for other people's kids and other men's sons who have chosen to skip out on their kids. Coach Stephen Trumbull. I watched Stephen Trumbull come in from the suburban area and come into AC Prep in a school where they didn't want him there because he was a white man. And this man came in and fought against all adversity and had the support of the principal. Back then, Dr. Carl Robinson, shout him out, because they had to be dad to other men's children when those other men felt like whatever is the reason why they don't want to take care of their children. 816-599-6893. And if you don't want to call in, I can't respect you if you're watching my show and you won't shout out great dads. I need y'all to shout out great dads, because these men are going above and beyond what everybody thinks you're supposed to do as a dad. They are taking care of other people's children, and they do it no problem. I had one who just came to my mind, and I didn't forgot his name that quick because I started making sure I invited everybody. But we have to understand, it absolutely takes a village to raise our children. We're going to go to break at 8:30. And when we come back from break, I want my timeline. I want this comment section flooded with dads, because I'm going to shout them out on air. I also want people calling in and just, hey, my son, Mr. Fuller, George Fuller. He's over at KCNA now. He was at Benjamin Banneker Charter Academy. He's not a dad just yet, but he's got hundreds of kids. And those kids love Mr. Fuller. And I tell everybody about how I found a little bitty girl, looked like she was in a kindergarten. I think she was in a kindergarten, wandering in between the center of 63rd and Paseo and Meyer and Paseo. And she was just lost and crying and walking across the street. And we almost didn't know who this little girl was. And she kept pointing up there. And I asked her where she went to school. And she said, at the McDonald's. That was so cute. So finally, because she kept pointing, and I finally said, where is your school at? Do you know where your school is at? And she said, I go to school at McDonald's. And I knew then, and I said, oh, do you know Mr. Fuller? And that baby's tears dried up. And she said, yes, I know him. Him know my mama. Call my mama. Him can call my mama. Him come get me. It was so cute. But she instantly felt a relief because someone knew Mr. Fuller. Now, granted, Mr. Fuller was a middle school teacher, but he took time with all the children in the school. He takes time. That's the things, and they know that they're loved. That baby was excited because she knew she was saved when I said, do you know Mr. Fuller? So what I want people to do is, I'm asking everyone to shout out, Antoine Roston. Antoine Roston, I tell people I have an amazing story about him, and he's going to be on my show. I'm getting with him as soon as I get done. But I'm going to wait till my show to tell this amazing story about Antoine. Antoine Roston, amazing dad. He cares. You all need to understand that we have to form a village. We are hemorrhaging children. It's 8:30. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go to commercial break. And when we come back from commercial break, I'm going to ask everyone to call in and shout out your dad and also give a solution to what's going on with this problem with our children. Hey y'all. I'm just now learning that y'all can still hear me. Because I just be sitting here so I want to shout out everybody who I see watching. Dwight, Kaz, Gotti, Forrest, Tyson, Aunt Samantha, hey Auntie Glenda, hey sis, Jamaica, Nelson Kendricks, Avonda, hey sis, Robert L. Mason, that's my biological dad. I love you, dude. You know I love you. Deborah Johnson, Daniel Martin, Jewel Cannon, Keenan McDaniel, Maisha Bonham, hey Nisi, and Kira Torkelson. Y'all call in and shout out the good dads, y'all. Let's not be silent, because we hear so much about bad dads and absentee dads. And Arthur Martin, how you doing? We hear so much about bad dads and absentee dads and people who don't take care of their kids and leave their kids in bad situations. This is Father's Month, and I know the difference that my daddy made in my life. His name was Lindsey Jr. Porche. That's who my Facebook page is, and I know the difference he made in my life. I know the things that he taught me. I saw what he did with my little brother, and he left a gap. And I want to shout out all dads. Oh, it's time to get back on the air. Hold on. You gonna play my intro, or it's too late? Okay. And we're back. Thank you for watching the Lyne't Gray Show. I was just talking to everybody on Facebook. You're listening to the Lyne't Gray Show on Knowledge, Understanding, and Wisdom, Kansas City's global community radio station. Like I said, our telephone number is 816-599-6893. I'm asking everyone to please share and let people know right now that I am on the air, because I see a whole bunch of people on here, but ain't nobody shouting out these daddies. And well, Avonda, since you're so modest, I'm going to shout out Mr. Ramon Parker. Avonda and Ramon Parker, two amazing parents. They are my son's other bonus parents, and I just love both of them to death. And I will say, Ramon is one of those dads who he raised great sons. He is raising great children. And I give Ramon a shout out, because when my son got a lacerated liver, I was not at the school for the practice. My ex-husband was not at the school for the practice. And when I got ready to head up there, I'm sitting at the edge of the driveway. Ramon is carrying my son out of the car. He wasn't even a little kid. And Ramon is carrying my son out of his car and putting him in mine so we can get him to the hospital. So I want to definitely shout out Ramon Parker. They are an amazing family, and he is an amazing dad, an absolutely great husband. I'm trying to think of more people to shout out. Y'all need to, because we have to begin to figure out how to stop this hemorrhaging. Moms, I know you're doing it on your own. Oh, Mr. Daryl Chamberlain. How can I forget Mr. Chamberlain? The St. James United Methodist Church A-flat orchestra. My two sons are in the A-flat orchestra. Mr. Chamberlain is taking kids from the community, and he's passionate about music and the arts and things like that. And he's taking kids from the community, and he's bringing something amazing to our children, which is the arts orchestra, something that they would not have access to. And he's doing it in a very, very affordable manner. If I can afford it, y'all, anybody can afford it. So I want to shout him out. Coach Lewis for the Mongoose 7-on-7 tournament. I want to shout him out because he takes people's sons out of town. He pays out of pocket. We have a caller here. Go ahead, caller. You're listening to the Lyne't Gray Show. This is Lyne't Gray. Who am I speaking with? Can you hear me, caller?
Yeah.
Okay. Who am I speaking with?
Maisha.
Hey, Maisha. How you doing? This is my niece. Turn down your radio because you're giving us feedback.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I wanted to give my uncle Lindsey Porche Jr. Well, Lindsey Jr. Porche.
The third. Yeah, he's the third.
Was the third. A shout out because he's been an awesome father to me, even though he ain't got no kids. He's been an awesome father to me, an awesome father figure, awesome uncle, and he's always there when I need him. no matter what the situation, if it's just to hear me cry on the phone.
And y'all, I thank you, Niecy Pooh, because that is my little brother. She just shouted out, and I don't know how I forgot my little brother, but but I do want to say, because I know that he's an awesome father figure to all of his nieces and nephews, every last single one of them. Y'all can call him for anything, and Uncle Junior shows up, and he shows up talking crazy. You know that, Maisha. He show up, he got 2 words to say, but he love y'all to death. And so I want to thank you for calling in and shouting out my little brother, Lindsey Jr. Porche III, the son of my dad, Lindsey Jr. Porche Jr. He learned how to be an amazing dad from our dad. I love you, Niecy Pooh. You have a wonderful evening. Okay. But yeah, 816-599-6893. I'm even if they, like she said, my brother hasn't given birth to any children. He has one daughter that is his wife's daughter, but that's his daughter. He still looks at her as his daughter. He doesn't look at her as a stepchild. And he's never physically given birth to children, but he has children all over the place. And I've seen him walk up to people's kids he don't even know. He's like, hey, what are you doing? You know, he talks real fast, and you need to get over here. What, little boy, why are you asking people for money? You need some money, and he'll take money out of his pocket. I've seen him take money out of his pocket and tell little boy, now go on over there and do this, that, and the other, blah, blah, and you quit asking people for money. You need a job, you get a lawnmower and go mow lawn, or get you a rake and go pick. And the boys are standing there because he's this massive man. He's this really good, big size yellow man. So the kids are like, oh, yes, sir. And he'll give them money, and he provides for kids that are not his. We are shouting out great dads. We have another caller coming in. Hey, caller, how you doing? Thank you for calling the Lyne't Gray Show. Who am I speaking with?
My name is Tierra Gordon.
Hi, Tierra. And who do you want to shout out?
My baby daddy, his name is Carl Emery John Smith. He's a great dad to 9 kids. He has a drill team that he helps out, and their performances, make sure they get to their performances.
Awesome. Now, wait a minute. Let me stop you. Let me stop you.
Great father to all of his kids.
Let me stop you. I need you to put his shout out in the comments, because that is amazing. She said 9 children, plus he still works with a drill team, y'all. That's powerful.
His kids are in the drill team too.
That's powerful.
He choreographed the dances for the girls and everything. Everything. He has like 4 of his girls that stays with him. He makes sure they get to school.
That's
make
awesome.
Sure they eat, they bathe, make sure he gets their hair done. He's an awesome dad to all his kids.
Thank you so much. And please put his information in the please, if you can, type up his information in the comments, because I want to gravitate people to his actual drill team as well, so that we want it to grow. When you have great men who support the children, we want it to grow. We want it to be known. We want people to know what he does and support his cause, because if he's doing this and he still has 9 children, that means he believes in it. So he wants to help as many children as he can in the community. And say his name for me again, because I want to repeat it on air.
Carl Smith. It's Carl Emery John Smith, but his Facebook name is Carl Smith.
Carl Emery John Smith, Facebook name Carl Smith. Thank you for being an amazing dad. Thank you so much for calling in. You have a blessed evening. Our telephone number again is 816-599-6893. Please call in. I need y'all to call in and shout out these men. You can't tell me we only got probably the 10 men I done named and the 2 callers that done called in. Come on now. And Roy, you gonna quit advertising on my stuff, or I'm gonna block you, because I'm gonna bring you on, because you ain't met Lyne't. So I'm gonna bring you on, and I am going to put you on the spot. We gonna talk about some things, because you keep advertising on every video I got. So Roy, I'm pretty sure you're a great dad, and you might be a great candidate for mayor, but I'm gonna put you on the spot, and I'm gonna be looking for you. I'm gonna do you like I did to Jehovah's Witnesses up there when they kept handing out flyers, and I told them come through my neighborhood, and they didn't. So but call in 816-599-6893. if you had an amazing dad, if you had an amazing coach, if you had an amazing tutor, a pastor, someone who took time with you. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot my uncle Harry Porche. We call him Porche, Uncle Porche, and my uncle Miller McLaughlin. Y'all, my mind, I don't know what's going on with me. I guess it's old age, all these gray hairs. But my uncle Miller McLaughlin, y'all, he came and got me out of a vacant house. Moved in with him and my auntie Jackie. First time I ever seen a refrigerator full of half a cow, and I was in love. they had this steam pot that we would put we was eating T-bones and baked potatoes for dinner. And I went from drinking water all day to just, I fell in love with food after that, y'all. So Uncle Miller McLaughlin Jr., I love you. I called him Uncle Red, and I still call him Uncle Red. I love that man. I love that man. I love that man. If I ever get married again, I'm glad he didn't walk me down the aisle for my first wedding, because that was the wrong man. So if I ever get married again, Uncle Red, you definitely walk me down the aisle, because it'll be the right one. Brian Elias. I want to shout out my brother, Brian Elias. Hey, Brian, I see you watching. Giso. Amazing dad. Amazing dad. We are shouting out amazing dads right now. 816-599-6893. And if you know an amazing dad who has a program, please let us know about the program that he has. Please let us know about what he's doing in the community. And I want it, because this video is going to be replayed. So I want people in the community to be able to, or people around the country, I don't care where you're watching from, around the world, write their name in the comments so that people can see what they do, where they do, how to get in contact with them. Brett Taylor over in Virginia, I want to say, Brett, please correct me if I'm wrong. I know you're not going to see this. You're probably at work, but Brett at Peace Taylor, amazing dad. He's got his teenage son with him. He's teaching them things that he's got 3 children. I think he's got 3, but he's teaching his amazing son. He's raising him to be an amazing man. The teenage son has just come to live with him. Who else can I think of? We've got some amazing people in the community, y'all, and we have to, whether they have children or not, I want to focus on these amazing dads and the programs that these amazing dads have, because we're hemorrhaging children. And a lot of these dads are doing amazing things and nobody knows about them. Like nor Mr. Walker knew about the man who had the 9 kids with his drill team. We didn't know about that. We did not know about that. Had she not have called in, she said it was Carl Smith is his name. Carl Smith. Let's shout him out. Had she not have called in and told us about that, and I asked her, please put his information in the comment section where people can see it. But had she not have called in and shouted him out, it would still be a mystery, except for to those who know him. 816-599-6893. Shout out your dad. Shout out amazing dads. I want to challenge even the dads who are not active dads in your child's life. I want to challenge the women who are with those men. This is my prayer, that you step up and you start doing for his child, which will draw his child into his life. And he can say, stay out of it, mind your own business, this, that, and the other. But that's where you stand up and say, guess what? Because I've had one that was like, oh no, you don't know what happened and this, that, and the other. He was giving me every excuse in the book. I will say he absolutely loved his daughter, but he gave me every excuse in the book for the reason why he could not be the amazing dad that she knew before things fell apart. And you know what I told him? I'm a daddy's girl. So I don't have respect for men who have excuses. I don't. Oh, yes, Auntie Samantha Stansbury. My uncle, Rob Gray. That was my piece. I have to say this. My Uncle Robbie used to always tell me, he was like, you know, you and your sister were my first daughters. He said, y'all taught me how to be daddy to the daughters that I had. And when I got a divorce and every time things would be going rough, I'd be driving down the street and I see this brim driving by me. Everybody who knows Uncle Rob, they knew that he was cleaner than the Board of Health. And I would see this brim drive by me and I'd be like, there go Uncle Robbie. We called him Uncle Robbie. And so I would go chase him down. And after I chased him down a couple of times, he would recognize my car and he would honk at me and I pull. And we would stand there and we would talk for hours. And Uncle Robbie he pull out his pistol. He'd be like, hey, Nady Nay, you know I'll handle it for you. And I'm like, nah, Uncle Robbie, I don't need you. I know you will. But he was an amazing. And I honestly say that when I lost him, I lost the person, and I had to grow up even more. I had to grow up when my dad died, but I had to grow up even more when I lost him. The month that I lost Uncle Rob, probably about a week later, something that I could have called Uncle Rob upset and crying about turned out real ugly for me. That's what I mean by great dads to your child and to other people's kid. Because I would have been able to call Uncle Rob and he would have listened and he would have said, well, Nady Nay, this is what you do. Because he always called me Nady Nay. This is what you do and this is how you handle this. And you let that so-and-so and this, that, and the other, blah, blah. I can just hear the conversation. But there was not anybody who I could reach out to and talk to who could understand. Uncle Robbie could understand when I got to that level. He knew how to talk me down. And so that man, and it's a year, this is the month that it'll be a year since he passed. And so I'm asking everyone, 816-599-6893, shout out your amazing dads. Put it on here where I can read it in the comments. If you're putting a name and I can't see it, my engineer can see it if I'm not reading the comments out. Just call in 816-599-6893. But we have to honor and the little bit of comments I'm getting, it is heartbreaking because that tells me there's not a lot of good dads in Kansas City. I mean, I know there's a lot of people watching this video right now. But not a lot of people are shouting out good dads, whether he's living or not. Who's the good dad? But put his name out there so we can shout him out. My daughter's best friend, Tony, my daughter's best friend's husband, Tony Love. Amazing dad. Amazing. And this is a young man, y'all. He's young and he is an amazing dad. He's absolutely awesome. The comedians, J.R. Hoodstar, Bobby J. Coleman, Kevin Roby. They are amazing dads. These are the comedians who I can remember off the top of my head. I know there are more, and I'm gonna get off of here and be like, I went to school with Kevin Roby. But J.R. Hoodstar, Bobby J. Coleman, and Kevin Roby. These are amazing dads. These are dads who do for their children. The guy who does all the videos, he's an awesome dad, and he actually put up a status about a baby who everybody thought was his, but it was his stepson. And when he and the woman broke up, she took her son away from him. Marco Summers, that old crazy guy who did the videos showing the guy getting his clothes taken in Victoria's Secret and getting his food stamp card taken and hopping on the car behind the cell phone out of research, and the whole one that everybody saw, the guy on the internet at the work at the Chevrolet dealer and all of that crazy stuff, the I'm quitting KFC because you dropped the chicken on the floor. He's an amazing dad. I want to shout out two, which I know will be amazing dads, both of my sons, Desmond D. Professor Mason, who did my intro music, and my son, Jock Adam Gray. And most people know him as Jock Adam Cunningham Gray. I don't talk about the Cunningham part. But anyway, Jock Adam Gray, the judge did that, y'all. The judge did that. But Lee Falls. Oh, yes. Miss Fuller's dad, Lee Falls. If you talk to anyone who played baseball in Kansas City, he coached teams at the KC 3-2 stadium. And He's in the Hall of Fame for that because he took all the kids that the other teams didn't want and was kicking behind with them boys. And he's built some amazing men. So Mr. Lee Falls, he kept a lot of young men off the street, and they're doing amazing things right now because of Mr. Lee Falls. Y'all come on with these shout outs, because I look at it like this. Instead of us talking about everything that's bad, everything that's negative that's going on with these, I have to shout out someone. And his name is Mr. Dominic Holmes. He passed away in February of 2015. This man is such an amazing man that he passed his spirit on to my son, his grandson. Son never met him. This man is an amazing man, and he proves that love, when you love your child. I saw a video that he took of my son's dad, Dominic Bell, and I want to shout out Dominic Bell. I was so mad at him for years. I did him dirty, y'all. I ain't gonna talk about it, but I did him dirty. But he stepped through, and he's an amazing man now. That's my best friend, and I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him. I tell him right now. I tell everybody, I'm committed. I'm a committed best friend to this man until his wife steps in and say no more. I will respect that. But Mr. Holmes is such an amazing man, an amazing spirit, that he passed February of 2015. And my son knows that this man is his guardian angel. He knows it. He told me, he said, Mama, I know whenever I'm going through, he shows up in my dreams. So I want to shout him out because he's no longer here. And like I said, shout out my dad. Lon Swearingen, H-Lon, shout him out. You're an amazing dad. Thank you for all the wonderful things you've done and you are doing in the community. I really, truly appreciate you, H-Lon. And I thank you for logging in. But we are just taking this time to shout out amazing dads because our community is hemorrhaging children. And the one constant thing that I'm seeing in a lot of the issues with the babies is the dads are absent. Moms, I know you can't afford it. I don't care if you have to start a 50-50 raffle on your own. I don't care if you have to bake pies and cookies and take your food stamp card and buy dinners and sell dinners. Get your kids involved in activities, in sports, in academics. We have the robotics up here at the W.E.B. Du Bois Learning Center. Get your kids up here. Get them involved. Get them off. Oh, Dre Taylor. He don't have kids. The Nile Valley Aquaponics Farm. How could I forget that? Brandon Ellington, Missouri State Representative Brandon Ellington. I have to shout this man out. This man asked my son one question. Do you play basketball? Changed that boy's life forever. Changed his life forever. My son is over in South Korea because Brandon Ellington asked him, do you play basketball? And it made my son began to hang out with Brandon Ellington for that entire summer and the following year. And he hung out with Brandon. And then he finally went to 2014. He didn't get to hang out with Brandon because he went to basic training. And then 2015 summer, he didn't get to hang out with Brandon because he went to AIT. But Missouri State Representative Brandon Ellington, he puts in the work with your children. And that's the reason why we need to make sure that man stays reelected, because he does not just talk. Oh, my cousins, I can't forget about them. My cousin Phil Charwalker and Caleb Walker. They both put in work. I will not forget it. I'm sorry, y'all. I love y'all. I'm sorry y'all are at the end. Phil Charwalker works with children in, I want to say Hastings, Kansas. Y'all gonna have to correct me. I'm not sure, but I know they're in Kansas. My cousin, Caleb Walker. I remember when his mama picked out his name. I tell everybody that. But they're my auntie Charlene's sons. Caleb Walker has a program called TAP. Tomorrow Ain't Promised. Caleb Walker is a professional basketball player overseas, and he has a program called TAP, and it's a basketball program where I forgot what city it is, so I'm going to put it in the comments at the top of this video. It's not in Kansas City, but they have an amazing program for young people. I love you, Phil Char. I love you, Caleb. Y'all are amazing. It's 8:55. It's almost time for me to go. If y'all want to shout out a dad, please put him in the comments here. I'm trying to think of anybody else. I want to say rest in peace to my daddy, Lindsey Jr. Porche Jr. I miss you terribly. Dads, go to the doctor. My daddy had diabetes. My daddy did not know he had diabetes until he woke up dead. He died from diabetic ketoacidosis. He did not know he had diabetes. He was out here working, trying to make money. That money will be there. Your children need you. I love y'all. This show is in memory of Lindsay Jr., Portia Jr. Happy Father's Month. We're going to be bringing on amazing fathers for the rest of the season. I love y'all. Y'all take care. Congratulations, great dads. Where's the book? Okay.